Well, good evening. What a special night it is here at PJNet, and you're a part of it. Let me tell you, there is so much good stuff going on. We won't get to all of it in this segment. We may come back live later on tonight, but we have something going on right now that you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss. Because on the other line with me, in our new thing that we're doing, is...
Hello. I am. Even after for my fifth account, I think it is fourth or fifth account. Fourth? Okay. And starting with at Chuck Nellis, which everybody knew me as. And now we're on Chuck NASCAR, which comes back miraculously like a phoenix from the ashes. Twitter actually said they're sorry to me, Chuck Nellis. Blows my mind.
Well, they said they're sorry, but I got news for you, Chuck. I've gotten that same email. Yeah, you will take it. Hey, we will take it. We'll take it. You know, and
at
but
this point, we'll take every grain of salt we get.
Well, it's tough out there. Of course, their letter simply said, "Oh, we just another false positive. We detected you as something you weren't."
Right.
So, as usual, we have no idea why.
Right.
Other than we're sorry. Oopsie. You know.
Well, I think they just simply wanted to silence me for a couple of days and twist the knife a little bit. You know.
It didn't work.
They know us. And they certainly know me as much heck as I've given them back. And I'm not going to stop because Jack doesn't play fair.
He doesn't. Can I get you to speak up just a little bit? Our sound test did better than we're doing now. You were more excited then.
Who, mine?
Yeah, you.
Who, mine?
You got to talk loud.
Okay, I'll get more excited.
You got to get your radio voice on.
Yeah.
Now,
we should just make Chuck D louder, yay.
Yeah.
I never have anything to say.
No, you don't, Chuck, and no, you know, nothing of any substance anyway. But hey, you know, folks, listen. Most of you know Chuck, but if you don't know Chuck NASCAR on Twitter, well, you're just not doing Twitter right. That's all I can tell you. And it is great, Chuck. You know, you've been kind of doing your thing. I've been kind of doing my thing. We touch base now and then. But you got something new coming up.
Oh yeah, we are gonna. You and me and my wife Lisa are gonna have some kind of fun, and we're gonna invite every one of our friends to come listen because we're gonna do a new show, and it's gonna be really cool.
We want a guest. We want to have a guest. I think we should have a guest caller.
And Lisa wants guest callers.
Like one person that calls.
Yeah. We can have special guest callers. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we'll try to get Ted Cruz to call in.
No, we want the one person that calls in.
I'm not joking about that part though.
What I'm saying is we want like the one person.
Oh yeah.
Kind of on Howard Stern would have like the one person.
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna have anyway. The key to this is that we're gonna have fun. If anybody remembers our old show, it was a lot of consternation a lot of the time and a lot of screaming by one of the members, and we're just not going to do that. We're going to have fun. We're going to be substantive. As everybody knows, Lisa is a super cook. So we're going to have some of the time she's going to talk about her cooking and stuff. And, of course, I got to talk about NASCAR some because I am, well, who?
Oh, and I don't know.
Oh, well, Lisa actually knows more NASCAR people than I do. Did you know that?
I've got a new gig as a writer.
Yeah, she got a new gig as a NASCAR writer today.
LadiesWhoSpeed.org, I think it is, and I'm going to be covering Bubba Wallace.
So we'll invite all those folks to listen to the show too.
As long as I can, contact.
Absolutely.
So that'll be fun.
It's going to be fun, man. I'm really excited about our show.
Well, Chuck, it's been quite a journey. You were on the radio last year, and then that ran aground, and now you and I have been kind of going back and forth on this thing since November, but I think we've got all the hurdles kind of cleared, you know. And actually, what we're doing right now is part of the test, you know, to find out, you know, can people, you know, figure out, you know, how to do this. Because, you know, it has to be idiot proof when you're dealing with people like, well, you know, you.
No kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Now take me out of this realm. I can't pour piss out of a boot with the instructions on the heel. But you know, as an engineer, I'm genius. You know. But don't.
You're good at this stuff.
Well, but I'm doing some stuff out of my field.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm doing some stuff. I'm putting together the PJNet, you know, broadcast studio.
Right.
And being as to how I don't have enough money, you know, I'm having to do a lot of carpentry and stuff like that. and
hey, do it yourself never hurts, does it?
Well, it brings out some vocabulary that's not very good for my Christian testimony.
Well, it also gives us reason to pray more.
Yeah. You know, Jesus was a carpenter. I wonder if all of his tents were perfect.
Do you think when he hit his finger with a hammer while he was being a carpenter, he didn't say something that wasn't?
Well, let me say this. I have been on construction projects in the mission field, in the Caribbean, right. Barbados, you know, Antigua, you know, St. John's, Jamaica, cool. All over the place. And I worked with missionaries. And you know what a missionary says when they hit their thumb with a hammer?
What?
Same thing you or I would say.
I believe it. I totally.
And they're so hospitable because we're volunteers, you know, working for free. And so we work, you know, it's we're down there for usually at least 10 days or sometimes longer. But basically, you know, work and play go hand in hand. Work comes first. That's what Coach Bum Phillips said. So when we got done, they would always, you know, take us out for sightseeing and all that. Well, we're in Barbados. And he takes us down to the beach. And it's a topless beach.
Oh my. That's funny.
And he's got his camera lens out, you know, and he says, "Hey, that girl's topless. Who is that?" He zooms in.
Of course he did. You have to know who it is.
Well, yeah, you know. Right. You know, but
hilarious. You know, that actually reminds me. I went to high school in St. Croix in the Virgin Islands.
You did. I've been there.
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
If it's been hit by a hurricane, I've been there, Chuck.
That's true. Have you ever been out to Isaac's Bay?
No.
On the West End?
No.
Well, there's a nude beach there.
When I was there, everything was flat.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. No, I hate that. That breaks my heart.
Yeah. Well, I served as the disaster relief director for the Florida Baptist Association for 14 years. And I was the first one there because I had a satellite telephone. So they sent me in first.
Right.
You know, but we had a lot of fun too. You know, I mean, it was nothing fun about disaster relief, but the mission trips were good.
What year were you there?
Gosh, I don't remember, Chuck. Those hurricanes start running together. I can't even remember half of them.
Yeah, they do. I'll bet.
It was constant.
How hard that would be.
Yeah, but the people are so nice. Except, well, I say the people. The governments are not. Jamaica was particularly egregious. They were charging us import duty equal to the value of the lumber we were sending down there. Kid you not.
And you're fixing their ion.
Mm-hmm. They're charging us as much tariff on the lumber and supplies we're sending in as the stuff was worth to begin with.
As usual, government.
Now in Colombia, and I don't mean South Carolina, I mean South America, we were taking medical supplies down. We were actually taking drugs to Colombia. Expired drugs here are still very, very useful.
Oh, yeah.
But the government's so corrupt, they knew we were coming, or our missionary was waiting for us at the airport, and there's a long line at customs. And all of a sudden, one of the customs agents comes to us and says, "Would y'all please come over here, follow me?" We just went right around through all that stuff.
That's funny.
But that's because they're corrupt.
Oh, yeah. Well, what government is really?
Well, they're openly corrupt. And I went down to, oh, darn it, not Haiti, the Dominican Republic. Man, I volunteered for all this work down here because back in the day, trying to get a dadgum cigar, you know, from the Dominican Republic was tough. You had to go on a waiting list.
Yeah.
So I went down there. So once we got the work done, I went downtown. They don't sell the cigars down there.
Right.
A Fuente. They only export them. Nobody down there can afford them anyway.
Oh my. That's ridiculous. It's like going to. No, that's just silly.
Yeah.
Anytime you got a bureaucracy, you've got nonsense, and you've got silly, stupid laws that make no sense at all because somebody thought it was a good idea.
It has nothing to do with the law. We'd get stopped, you know, and they'd pull us over, and all you got to do is give the cop the equivalent of about $20, and then he'll let you go.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Happens all the time. Yeah, it's routine.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely, man.
Just
absolutely.
corrupt.
So, tell me more about what's going on with you. You built a whole new house or garage or something.
Well, we're working on it. I've got the insulation up, got most of the ceiling up. Most importantly, I have the air conditioning up. But the big thing is this. And right now my desk consists of 2 sawhorses and a piece of plywood. That's that's where I'm doing this from. And
I've done that often.
But I got the air conditioning in, and that was a big step because it's unbearable. This is a metal building that you can imagine in Florida. When you open the door, as soon as you turn the knob till it unhinges, the door would just fly open from all the heat escaping. But I've got the insulation in. I've got about, I would say, a quarter of the ceiling in. But Monday, my Amish carpenter friend is coming to build me a desk. Cool. And we're going to have a green screen behind me. We're going to be doing a lot of video. And I won't do it in this live segment, but I have accomplished an engineering, absolutely bunny out of the hat trick that is going to make possible for us to get multiple cameras on within a few weeks, as opposed to a year or two. The cost, I found a trick. I won't go into it because it's all boring, but Chuck, now what you want to do, you've got a producer, Dershie, that's going to be... Yeah, tell us about Dershie.
Dersh is a great guy. He lives down your way, and he's a teacher, and he's a traveler. He goes all the way around. He goes all over the place with doing stuff for his school and for the kids. And he's just a top-notch guy, and I'm really, really glad he's going to do this. I'm trying to talk him into going on the air because he's got an on-air voice, and he doesn't really want to do that. But you know how that works out. You oftentimes say, "I don't want to be on air," and then you end up on air. So. Well,
it's like karaoke. Nobody wants to be first.
Exactly.
Get a few beers in them, though, and a few.
That's always been the thing. I've always been like, I'll go first. I don't care.
So Dershie's going to be doing the production, and we're literally testing the software that allows you to call in. And this software, it will do video support, but for now, you want to do just audio. But
I'm not ready to put my smiling face on air all the time.
Well, you just got your hair cut, didn't you?
I did. I mean, I look like you could send me to Hollywood or something, but I like people hearing me more than seeing me, to be honest.
Well, yeah, and when you get your hair cut, Chuck, I mean, you do your hair however you want to, but let me tell you this. Don't do what I did one time and say, well, just cut all the gray out.
Oh, God.
I'd be bald.
Yeah, I know.
I'd have no hair left on my head.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is when they cut the ponytail off, the part 20 inches down was kind of like brownish red still. Mm-hmm. And I looked like a tree ring, to be honest. As you went up, it got saltier and pepper, and then as you went up, it got more salt until there's nothing but salt. And that's all in the course of 20 inches of hair.
I made your hair turn white. I'm sorry.
Isn't that something?
Well, Chuck, so some hair turns gray, some turns loose, and it's kind of funny because I remember back in high school, when, you're in the locker room and everybody's showing off their chest hair and this, and I never had a lot of facial hair. In fact, still I could go 3 days without shaving and I don't think anybody'd notice. But that's my point, is all these guys that used to brag in the locker room, well, they're bald now. I still got hair. I'm like, you had your day, but guess what? My day's coming.
Well, I've always been hairy. I mean, I remember in like 8th or 9th grade, I had a mustache.
Oh gosh.
And then like 10th grade, by 11th grade, I had a full beard. Well, yeah, I was a hairy mug, but at least you're saying alien. We have good fun. You're gonna love our show, man, because Lisa and I, the way we interact, we come from totally different political backgrounds, but everything else we're very much simpatico on. We like the same things. We have the same tastes and things like that, same music, all that. But when it comes to politics, we are opposite.
Oh, I meant to get a picture of it. Today, on I drive pretty much the same route throughout the day when I work. And there's this one house is down this road, and it's out of character because it's a nicer house than all the rest of the houses in that area. But it's got it's got a fence around it, and it's got a motorized electric gate, and it's just obviously out of place.
Oh wow!
And I'm looking at this gate. I mean, this fence is, it's not just an ornate fence. It's that thing's 8 feet high. Well, it's not a solid fence. You can see through it. And I was looking at the cars, and on the back of the car is a bumper sticker that says Bernie. And I thought, yeah, you building a wall around your house. But
right. That's true.
And there's a liberal guy that works, but I got burned. There's a liberal guy that works with me. He's really good. I like him.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, I said, hey, his name's Dallas. I said, Dallas. I said, I was noticing this house that was just very secure, big fence around it and all that. And the car park has a Bernie. He's a Bernie guy too,
Right.
And I said, but there sure is a fence around his yard. He says, well, there should be. Maybe he's got a dog. He smoked me.
That's pretty good.
I said, let me get back to you on that.
Yeah, Lisa's a Bernie bro herself.
Mm-hmm.
She was almost a delegate for him. She almost ended up being a state delegate. Yeah, a state Democrat delegate last time.
Mm.
But she was a big Bernie bro, and she had the stickers and the T-shirts and all that stuff.
I won't vote for Hillary because of Bernie.
Right. She wasn't a one.
I wasn't a burnout.
A burnout. That's not really. That's funny. She calls herself a libertarian because she's got so much libertarian in her.
Mm.
I really do.
Well, there are some.
Interesting.
There's a few liberals I can live with. I mean, yeah, they're principled, but we just disagree, on things. But it's not personal, and they're not,
right.
They're not violent.
As long as it's not personal, and it's not something that's going to destroy a relationship, you can look past it and do other stuff,
Yeah.
But like if you like cooking, or if you like NASCAR, or if you like whatever, football or baseball or whatever, and you have it in common, but you just vote differently. So what?
So how often do you plan to do this?
Every week, we hope.
Once a week? Okay.
Yeah.
Because this happens in live stuff, and can't answer the call right now. Sorry. Okay, call me. I'll call you back, whoever that is.
Oh, is that on your phone?
Yeah, as somebody's calling my Skype number. They might have been. They might think we're not using Skype for this particular call because Skype, this new software, uses a lot less computer power. Doesn't sap your computer near as much as Skype did. Skype was just sucking me dry. And this, remember when we first talked, Chuck, we were going to use GoToMeeting, and this software basically does what GoToMeeting does at about half the price. And GoToMeeting,
what am I going to do with that Skype account I got then?
Well, just quit paying for it, and it'll still be there. It's free.
Oh, I'll never use it. Have you ever used Messenger phone?
No, I use Skype because it's got a public telephone number that people can call in. And it's cheap. I mean, I pay $6 a month for that number. And it makes these people I deal with in Washington think I'm in Washington, D.C. because it's a 202 area code.
I know you blow my mind with that because I lived near D.C. for decades.
Yeah. And I call you and you think you're getting an important phone call from Ted Cruz, and it's like, oh gosh, it's just Coach.
No, that's when I see one come from Houston.
Yeah.
With cell phones, though, you can't trust the area code.
Well, you can't trust the area code because they can be changed.
Like the lady that was doing our file.
Yeah.
I kept getting a call from
823 or yeah, they're from Missouri.
No, they're not from Missouri.
But their phone is, yeah. Yeah, you can have a phone number from anywhere. Like around here, it's a lot of transient people in this area, North Carolina, and we get people from Florida and up north and like New Jersey or out in California or Texas, phone numbers all the time calling me about renting houses.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't trust it at first because if somebody's transient, they may not stick around. But it's just the nature of that. People keep their phone numbers. They don't change them when they go to a new area.
Right. Of course not. Yeah. I got a call today from an old friend. I didn't recognize the number. I answered it anyway, and it turned out to be an old friend. But I've got a new phone, so you lose all your contacts when that happens. And
yeah.
Nobody changes their phone. Like if I moved to California or whatever tomorrow, I would still keep my same.
Oh yeah, sweet.
No,
919.
I've had that phone number for 20 years.
Have you? That's pretty cool.
So.
Cool.
Huh.
So you're thinking like once a week, have a little fun, and what's kind of what's kind of neat is they'll be on. This is all going out on YouTube right now, so it's automatically kept on YouTube. So you can
excellent.
You can go put it on.
Do it again.
You can go put it on Twitter. People can go watch it and stuff. But Chuck, I'm happy for you, man. I know you've been very patient. And I want to thank you, Chuck. And folks, let me tell you the kind of guy, Chuck gets tangled up with some people because he's kind of interactive. But let me tell you that Chuck has called me and sent me messages saying, anytime you need help on something, Mark, I'm here for you. And that's the kind of guy Chuck is. And it's just great to know that you're going to be reaching out in new ways, reaching new people, doing some new things. And Chuck, we're just honored to be a part of it. And you're just a great guy. And it's been a long time since we got together. I remember when we first opened up, you'd show up. Back then you were single. Of course, all the women would faint,
Yeah, well, we weren't married yet, then. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's been years now. Well, we've known each other 10 years now almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're the people on Twitter like you and Judy and all of our friends. We've known each other a long time, but we're more like family than family is.
I don't know what I'd do without my Twitter family. I tell you what,
no, that's why even with the amount of abuse I take, I keep coming back.
I know.
Like when people go, they're not my friend, but they're my Facebook friend.
Right.
They're still your friend.
They're still your friend because you're spending a lot of time with these folks.
What about the people that were going to go to their wedding, maybe?
Yeah, we got invited to go out to Nebraska for a wedding, and somebody we've never even met.
Well, Chuck, I remember when we first started this. This was back in the Newt Gingrich presidential campaign, and one of the first people that came in to the opening show was Sunbelt Girl. And Sunbelt Girl's been here the whole time, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's funny because I got an invite to how when there's an election, you have the watch party, the little room where everybody is. Well, I got invited to Judge Roy Moore's watch party for the election. Right. So I said, hey, Sunbelt Girl, I know it's a long way, but what the heck? You want to come? So, I'm sitting there setting up my gear, and I'm all sweaty and stinky, and I look up and there she is. And, boy, she got in there and she helped me out and all. But Chuck, we got so busy. We were there all that time. We never got a chance to just sit down and have a cup of coffee.
That's funny. And it goes that way sometimes, doesn't it?
Well,
during one of our shows, I'm going to interview you, by the way.
Well, I don't know what I could add to what you've already got, but, I'll do the best I can.
We'll dig deep.
We'll dig deep. Well, Chuck, I can't wait. We're still thinking we can do this sometime next month, early in the month, hopefully. You thinking we're still on target?
You know what? For me, it simply comes down to when you're ready and Dersh is ready and it's ready to roll. We've got places. I've even got a professional microphone ready.
Did you get the Blue Yeti? Did you get a Blue Yeti?
I got a really nice big mic. Yeah, the blue. I got a blue.
You got a Blue Yeti.
I did.
That is the mic.
Yeti,
yeah, it's a Blue
I
Yeti.
can't wait to use it.
Blue is the Oh, it's great.
Yep.
It's the standard.
In my office, sitting on the table waiting for us.
Oh man, you are something else. Well, that sounds great.
I loved it. Honestly, buddy, I love being on air. I just love talking and getting the message out to people. That we.
Going to be on the radio. Your whole entire voice.
I know. I go to Radio Chuck. Hi, this is Chuck. Are you ready? It's so true. In a nanosecond, I'll switch from just being laid back me to Radio Chuck.
I tell you to stop talking to me like that when you're not on the air.
That's true.
Stop being Radio Chuck.
I can't deny it. I just can't deny it. See, I'll go into it more I'll talk about my family history someday on the show, but my great-grandfather got off the boat and made a vaudeville theater.
Mm.
And his son, my grandfather, ended up being a pretty well-known vaudevillian song and dance guy, and that's what I grew up watching, him sing and dance and do comedy and stuff.
So it's in your DNA, yeah.
Oh God, yes. I love being an entertainer, or I love being a voice.
There you go. Well, Chuck, you are a good voice to have. I'm just glad to have you on our team. Because if you're on the other side, you'd be just as good over there. And you got your problems, but I'll be like Henry Ford. I'd rather have you on the inside pissing out than the outside pissing in.
I have been called a fourth before.
All right, well, Chuck, you're a champ, and this test went pretty well. And there's some refinements, but if you'll have arrange for Dersh to get together, we'll put all the ingredients in the recipe.
I hope Dersh is listening tonight. If not, we'll have to get him the YouTube.
We'll get him to the YouTube version of it. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to shake you loose, bud. It has been a great time, and I look forward to doing this all the time, more and more often. Let's make it all happen.
Anytime, my friend, anytime. God bless you, and God bless everyone here. Oh, and wait, I was told I had to say something before I went. And Obama still sucks! I was told I had to say that, so I did it.
Well, I can't improve on that. So we'll see you next time, Chuck. It's been great having you on, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Good night.
All right, good night. Bye. Bye. Well, there it was. Chuck Nellis live here on PJ Net. What a fun time. It's like old times. Folks, there is so much I need to bring you all up to speed on. But that went quite a long time, and I know it did, but it's so fun talking to Chuck. We have some good news coming later on. If you want to hang around in the meantime, we are going to rock, we're going to roll, we're going to party, and I hope you'll be a part of it and hang around, and we'll be back with another live segment later on this evening.